everybody, Greg here, and this is the September 2017 monthly update video. I actually recorded the video earlier in the month and the light was great, the audio not so great. So I'm going to cut away to that video, but the beginning of it was just, there was a lot of wind noise and everything, so I wanted to record this intro instead. But in summary, what you're going to see in this month's update is a little bit of news about the video production. I've put out well over 1,000 videos in recent years, and in the last month more than 50 videos on different topics: bicycling, trails, technology, music production, all kinds of things. So anyway, you're going to hear a little bit about that and a little bit about the fitness and wellness program that I'm gearing up for that started this month. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. As usual, there's also the written newsletter update, but these videos are companions to that for those of you that want to just maybe listen to the message or watch a video instead of reading. So all right, let's get to it. So this month I'm continuing with the video production work, but new as of this month is I'm switching up my video format. So in the past I was doing recording video at 1080p, which is 1920 by 1080 dots per pixels of resolution, and that's normally considered HD. Of course, now people are starting to record in 4K, which I might try a little bit later, but I had been recording in 30 frames a second. I'm going to step it up to 60 frames a second, which should make these videos look a little sharper and a little more fluid for the backgrounds and for any motion in the videos. So hopefully you'll be enjoying the higher quality. Give you a look around here. So for this month I don't plan on too much new going on, not too much new to report other than just continued videos. You can see these featured on the Resources for Life video channel on YouTube. So if you want to follow all the content along, you can do that. I have playlists which are automatically generated based on keywords in the subject title of the video. So you can check out videos on bicycling or technology or photography, videography, whatever you want. You can zoom in on those specific topics or just catch all the titles as they go live on the Resources for Life channel. I've got a few left in the queue. Some of these are videos that I'm creating in response to questions that come in, tech questions that people have. What printer should I buy? How do I change this setting on my iPhone? Whatever. And this month, actually just over the past week or two, I started using a software program called ScreenFlow, and it's version 7, so ScreenFlow 7. And that's very helpful for doing screen recordings and also for doing animated, full motion video tutorials for the iPhone. It actually records the video from the iPhone screen while also recording the webcam on the computer, so I can be narrating some instructions that way. The bicycling continues, although the videos I'm not doing as much of because now Iowa City is, into the fall semester, full tilt, and so there's more traffic, there's more people, the trails are busier, and I try not to I try to avoid getting people in these videos because you never know with somebody not having someone's permission to do the video. You just don't want to have that issue. So now with all the students in town and with the city being busy, it's not as easy to capture these videos, and it's just noisier. But there will be some changes. I can already see there's some new signage going in for the local bike trails, and I did a short video this morning about that. But we're going to see, I think, more trail infrastructure happening here in the Iowa City, Coralville, North Liberty area, which is really a good thing because the better marked the trails are, the more available that maps are, the more usable those trails are going to be, particularly for people that are not out there every day. They're coming here maybe even just for a weekend or visiting friends, family, or someone who's new to town, it's nice to have those signs and better documentation. Here is an interesting vehicle, the Slingshot. That is pretty wild. And you know, I actually have, surprisingly, I have some video footage of, I believe these can't be so common that there'd be two around here, but I have a video of somebody riding around in one of these, which maybe I will go ahead and just drop that into this video here. So anyway, so that's a little bit about the videos and fitness wellness. Oh, that's kind of big news. So for this month, as of Thursday this past week, so 3-4 days ago, I shifted over to a 1,500 calorie diet, which is, I obviously, you know, everybody's given thought to, oh, I could eat a little less, but this is different than eating a little less. I don't know if you're familiar, but like 1,500 calories is, well, basically anything that's like cheese and oil and fat and, you know, things like that, pretty much a few cups or 2 cups or whatever is gonna meet your caloric limit for a meal, you know. So what most of us think of as a little snack, that's what my meal is going to be. So I'm going to do 3 of those a day, so essentially 3 snacks a day, no meals, and it's pretty interesting. But if you choose your foods right, if you choose nutrient dense foods and actually, you know, avoid sugar, of course, and avoid carbs, well, then it's surprisingly a little bit easier. So, you know, this is basically what amounts to, it's almost like fasting. Somebody big like me, I have a scale that measures body composition, and that scale tells me how many pounds of muscle mass my body is, and then it calculates based on my size and based on my weight and how much energy is required to move that weight around on an average day. It gives me a total for what my expected caloric burn would be for a typical day, which is like 2,700 calories. Now that doesn't take into account that I'm burning off a lot more calories with exercise. So easily I'm burning probably 3,000, 4,000 calories a day. So, you know, trying to set a goal of 1,500, it's pretty slim, pretty interesting. But I've noticed actually, you know, higher energy levels so far, and somehow by eating less, I'm having fewer cravings, which is interesting. You know, I think a lot of our hunger cravings are caused by food, surprisingly. So what I mean to say is that, you know, a lot of the foods we eat, because they are, as is referred to, salty grease and sweet grease, you know, there's a lot of high fat, high carb, high sugar foods that, like the Doritos commercial, bet you can't eat just one. You know, these foods are designed to be addictive, and they're designed to, you know, get your hunger really cranked up there. So anyway, by cutting back on those foods and by getting really selective about what I eat and staying active, that's key to this. If you stay moving throughout the day, it really keeps the hunger down. So anyway, yeah, that's the 1,500 calorie diet. So basically 400 or 500 calories in a meal. And to give you an idea what that's like is maybe a cup of cottage cheese, one of those tiny dishes of guacamole, maybe a couple of those, and a little bit of juice maybe, or half a cup of milk or something, you know. It's pretty easy to quickly get up to that 500 calorie limit per meal. And I'm using Lose It is the app that I've been using. It's okay, you know. I noticed some of the nutrition info isn't quite precise, you know, maybe 8 out of 10 times it's fine, but every once in a while I'll scan a barcode and it's not even the food that I'm looking up, or I'll manually enter a food in the search and the calories are off or something like that, or some of the nutrition info is just plain missing. So you know, whatever, it's close enough to keep track. And I try not to get, you know, over obsessed over the details of nutrition tracking and other things. It just starts to take too much time and energy and focus if you're too worried about the details. But yeah, so, you know, using an app helps. And when it does work, which is most of the time, it's pretty cool. You just scan in the barcode of whatever food you're eating, and it knows what food it is. It knows how many calories per serving, etc. So yeah, I like the Lose It app. And then that's the nutrition side of things. The wellness side of things I track with the Apple iPhone and Health Kit. And that information actually ports over to the Lose It software. So to explain that a little bit is that when I say it ports over, it synchronizes or transfers all of my workouts into the Lose It program. So Lose It as an app knows what kind of a workout I'm getting, and it, you know, tracks that accordingly. So anyway, that's handy. So we've got nutrition, I mentioned, and fitness, which is continuing, and videos, which are going to be taken up a notch in quality. You think if there's anything else going on? Oh, the other thing, I guess, fourth item, is that, you know, with my consulting, for the most part, I've been doing work and people pay just writing a check, which is fine. And I'll continue to do that, you know, accept check payments. Never had a problem with those. But what I'm thinking about doing is using the Square app a little bit more. And the reason for that is because when I use the Square app, I can type in a mini invoice in that app, get the payment, and essentially everything's automated at that point. So that's really handy. And then I'll have some sort of paper trail, essentially, of, you know, who's paid what when. But anyway, that's not a big news item, but just if you're somebody that I'm doing work with, I'm going to be trying to switch people over to that credit card payment method. And I think it gives people also, you know, their own digital paper trail of where the money went, and they can easily track that down and find expenses and payments and things. So maybe a few items, you know, on the front of natural disasters. You know, there was Hurricane Harvey, now Irma. There's one that's like 24 hours behind Irma. Everybody's focused on Irma right now, but these hurricanes just keep coming. So it seems like there may be some climate issues. So that's something to be mindful of, and I think I've spoken about this in the past with regard to the small house movement, is that people are noticing what the environment is doing to us, and we're also kind of noticing the connection between what we're doing and how that impacts the environment. And that for that reason, people are trying to become more minimalist. They're trying to live in tinier, more mobile houses so they can get out of areas where there might be wildfires or floods or hurricanes or tornadoes or what have you. So I guess in that regard, these storms continue to be a reminder and something that is motivating people to reconsider how much they want to have invested in stuff and in homes, you know. And it's really hard, because if you're one of those people who's been in the path of this stuff, the hurricanes, the floods, the fires, you know that you can just lose everything. And even if you have insurance, it doesn't bring the stuff back, you know. So anyway, so that's on one front. And then the other front is with regard to digital disruption. We just in the news a couple days ago, Equifax announced that over 140 million accounts, pretty much half the country. And if you think about, okay, people who are, let's say, over the age of 18 and people who aren't in their retirement, so people who are kind of like actively trying to work and take care of their parents or kids or whatever the case may be, you know, the kind of those folks, it's like not just 50%, it's probably closer to like 70% of that group is going to get hit hard by having their phone number, their credit cards, their social security numbers, name, address, birthday, all that data has been captured by hackers who are now asking for, I don't know what it was, 2.5 million. And they're saying, you know, that somebody, I guess Equifax, needs to pay this 2.5 million or else, is what they're saying. So that doesn't sound good. You know, hackers do enough damage when they're not threatening people, and if they're like intentionally trying to prove a point, that could get real messy with half the country having their identities stolen or mixed up or something. So anyway, that's on the digital front, and basically I guess that's about all the news right now, and look forward to being in touch with everybody throughout the month, getting more videos done. Let me know if you have some suggestions for video topics, and just as a natural course of things, people are going to continue to ask me questions about tiny houses and video and photography and computers and all that and websites, and so I'll keep producing videos along those topics. I'm thinking about doing some sort of not online but in-person kind of training in Iowa City, maybe at the public library or some venue where people can come, and I'm not sure what the topics will be, but you know, do some hands-on support there, and then maybe use that as content for the web, content for video, or at least a place to get some ideas to do you know, Q&A, and get a sense of what people are wanting in terms of tech support and other kinds of video. So well, anyway, that's it, and I hope you have a great month, and look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.